From the Aishin Broadcast Studio, it's the Executive Spotlight.
Welcome to the AutoSuccess Executive Spotlight. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today, my guest is Adam Alfia from Real Time Feedback. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, I appreciate you coming in today.
Of course.
Let's dive right into some exciting content. What is more important to a dealership? Is it feedback or is it reviews?
Well, ultimately, you want to have obviously positive reviews on public review platforms. Google being the biggest one now. You have other ones like DealerRater. Facebook is still a thing a little bit. Even Yelp. We see people leaving reviews on Yelp. So that's really a byproduct of getting good feedback. But really, operationally, as a dealership executive, both in sales and service, you want to get feedback. Because with feedback, you can make changes to really react and respond to customers and make sure that they're getting the service that they deserve and expect.
Give me an example of that, of like really why feedback is so important, and like maybe like a situation that you've seen that where they were able to take action and improve that situation.
Right. So, and if you think about it, the people, people growing up today, especially the younger generation, they want everything now.
Yep. And
they expect, if everybody's on their iPhone or their Android, everybody's connected at all times, and you see a lot of times people that will come in for an oil change, for example. And they're told, oh yeah, it'll be, an hour for an oil change, and they're there for 2 hours. They'll be telling their friends, yeah, they told me an hour for an oil change, and now I'm here for 2 hours. Or they even put a post on Instagram, don't come to this dealership. They tell, so you have to make sure that your customers are always taken care of, and that if they're not, they have a really easy way for them to communicate that to management. So one of the things that we do, and we see it all the time, probably the two biggest things in the service department that we see through our platform are the two biggest complaints are, I was told X amount of time for for a service, and I've been here much longer. And then two is, I can't get anybody from the dealership to call me back. Mm-hmm. So that's a really big problem where, service advisors might be on vacation and, somebody's leaving them messages for 3 days because, without your car, you can't get around anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So people get really, really frustrated. And not only that, I think the biggest problem with that is every time they're talking to somebody when their vehicle's in the shop and they're saying, yeah, and they're telling everybody. So every single person that they're friends with, they're saying, yeah, I can't I got to work late because I had to take an Uber or whatever it is, and the dealership won't give me a rental car. So now they're broadcasting their bad experiences to all their friends and family. So it's really important to get in front of that. But it's amazing that we live in a society now that everything is broadcast in real time as it's happening. People are telling everybody about it, so it's really important for dealerships to stay on top of that and make sure that the bad experiences are kept private and you can handle them, and as that experience is unfolding, and then the happy customers, you amplify them. So the happy customers, make it easy for them to leave you a review and tell others about their experiences.
Well, how does a dealership do that?
Well, we do in several ways. One of the things that our platform does is, especially in the waiting room for the service department, what we'll do is we recommend that they put placards throughout the waiting area and the restrooms, by the coffee bar, on the desk, in the waiting room, with something along the lines, do you need any assistance? Do you need to let a manager know anything? With a QR code, when they scan it, they can put in, hey, I've been here for an hour for an oil change, what's going on? And that'll go directly to a service manager. They can immediately respond. Oh. So that's in real time while they're there at the dealership. The second thing that we do is we're integrated with all the major DMSs, whether it's Reynolds or CDK, et cetera, and we're scraping the data. So as soon as that customer either finishes buying their vehicle or they pay for an RO in the service department, we're immediately sending a text message to that customer with custom language to the tune of, hey, Susan, thanks for coming. Thanks for trusting XYZ dealership with your vehicle service needs. We care about your customer experience. On a scale of 1 to 5, please let our manager know how we did today. Mm-hmm. And that takes them to a very simple link with their logo on it and 5 stars. If they give that experience a 5-star experience, we don't ask any questions. We automatically redirect them to Google or DealerRater, wherever it is the dealership wants to generate reviews. And then they leave a review there. However, if they don't leave a 5-star experience, 1 through 4, then we automatically open up a window that says it has custom language depending if it's a 1-star or 4-star. We apologize, we didn't give you a 5-star experience. Please let our manager know exactly what part of your experience we need to improve on. A manager will receive this and respond to you. So whatever they put in there automatically goes directly to a manager that now has the ability to quickly respond. And hopefully, we always recommend respond quickly and then pick up the phone, call the customer. Hey, this is the manager. I just got your feedback. What can we do to fix this situation? Because that's really, time is of the essence. When a customer leaves your dealership, and there's an issue, you want to make sure you get in front of that as soon as possible because friends and family are the number one source of referrals for dealerships. You want to get in front of that and make sure that the customer is satisfied, et cetera, before they tell too many people about that.
I mean, I guess maybe it's obvious. It seems obvious that the 5-star would be the best, because you take them right to to a Google or somewhere else and they leave a 5-star review. But of the other stars, 1 through 4, which one of those really creates the greatest opportunity for the dealership?
So, I always tell people when you ask a business owner, and it's not just automotive, in any business, what kind of not reviews, but ratings, what kind of ratings do you want internally from your customers to help you operationally improve your business, whether it's a dealership, a restaurant, any type of business. I want 5-star ratings. Because you're right, you do want 5-star ratings, but that's almost impossible to get perfect 5 stars all the time. The 4 stars are the ones that are the most enlightening. So 1-star customers are usually people who just throw up all over you. The ones that are just complaining about everything, and it's usually probably complaining about a lot of things in there about everything. But the 4-star customer goes, well, it was almost a 5-star. I really like coming here. I had a good experience, but it wasn't perfect. And here's the 1 or 2 things operationally that you can fix that will make me a happier customer. And it's usually small things. Hey, the last couple of times I've been here, there hasn't been coffee in the coffee bar, or everything was great, but the service advisor took a really long time to call me back. So it's the 4 stars are really what I call the golden nuggets of information. That if you take them and you fix something like that for the customer, and the next time they come in, there is coffee for them, or the service advisor calls the customer back and goes, hey, my boss just told me, I really apologize about that. It won't happen again. Here's my personal cell number, maybe, for example. Next time you come in, here's my personal number. You call a customer, you tell them that, they're customers for life. And that's really the goal of any car dealership or any business. How do I make a customer for life? And I think Carl Sewell once said, it takes a lifetime to build a relationship and 5 minutes to destroy it. So you never know, especially now the turnover of dealerships is so high, especially because it used to be, traditionally, there used to be people that grew up and said, I want to be in the car industry. I want to sell cars. I want to fix cars. And you see that, especially the younger generation, none of my son's friends want to grow up and be a mechanic. So it's really, really hard to get technicians and service advisors, salespeople. So, and you have a turnover, and you don't know, they're the face of your dealership. You don't know what kind of experiences customers are having, but with a platform like ours, the customer has a voice directly to a manager that can now, filter out those negative experiences and hopefully fix them.
What should a dealership strive for? Like, what's a good goal to have as far as online reviews? And at what point do customers what point does somebody say, I will go there or I won't go there, from your experience?
Right. So there's 4 really things that not only customers but also Google looks at. How many reviews you're getting, right? So one of the things we've noticed is a lot of dealerships might have 2 Google business profiles, one for their sales department and one for the service department, but nobody ever sends any reviews. Most customers are leaving their reviews on their main page, not on the service drive. The service drive really drives a lot of the revenue for the dealership, but never gets any attention. So one of the things that our platform does, it sends sales customers to the main site, service customers to the service site. So now you're populating both Google review platforms. But to answer your point, you got to have 4.0 and higher.
4.0.
Customers in any business usually don't trust any businesses that have a 3 in front of it. So you got to have at least a 4.0 and higher to be considered as a trustworthy source. Secondly, the 4.4 is really where you get into the area of, okay, these are really trustworthy, but it has to be backed up with a lot of reviews. So typically, a dealership that's been in business for any amount of years needs to have at least 1,000 reviews on sales and service to be credible. There are a lot of dealerships that have 5,000, 6,000. And then you get into, that's really trustworthy. They've been around a long time. But not only have all those reviews, one of the things that I do is when I go to Google and I'm looking at a business, what are the latest reviews and what are the latest negative reviews? And I want to see, so back to my 4 things, how many reviews you're getting, the quality of the reviews, are you responding to the reviews, and how fast? So Google looks at those four different elements to rate you for SEO purposes. So everything else being, every automotive dealership is doing some sort of SEO, but natural SEO that Google does is, their opinion is if you don't care about Google customers, Google doesn't care about you. So I see a lot of dealerships that are always wanting reviews, but nobody's responding to them. When a customer takes the time to go online and leave you a review, good or bad, a dealership needs to make sure that that process is in place to respond to those Google reviews, not only responding, but responding quickly.
Even to the 5 stars?
Of course. So one of the things we built was in our Google review platform. So that's one of the things that we also have, what we call Review Hub. We'll take all of your online reviews from Google, Facebook, DealerRater, anywhere that anybody's left you a review. We put in one central hub, and we have AI that generates 100 different ways of saying thank you. So all your 4 and 5 star reviews, you don't have to do anything. When somebody leaves you a review, within 5 minutes, our system will automatically respond to that customer. Hey, John, thanks for coming in. We appreciate. Can't wait to see you again. Just something generic, just to get that customer responded to. Because if I leave you a review and you don't respond to me for 3 weeks, I gotta go. What took them 3 weeks to respond to this? If you get a response within an hour, you go, wow, somebody's on their, they're on their ball. So it responds to all your 4 and 5 star, and then 1, 2, and 3 star, you get an automatic alert. And then we have AI that recommends a response. It'll actually read the entire review that they give you, and it recommends a really nice, well-written apology that you can just post to Google. You can edit it, of course, before you send it, but it takes a lot of the brain drain. One of the things when we talk to and we do the training for launch, you always get the guy that's in charge of responding to reviews. He goes, man, I hate responding to these reviews. It really ruins my day because all I'm doing all day is reading negative experiences, and I got to sit there and apologize. I go, well, with AI, it does all that for you. It does all the hard lifting, the brain drain that we call of responding to negative experiences all day. And it just posts it for you, and it takes you 10 minutes a day to get through all your reviews from that day, and then you're off to do something else.
I just want to make sure I understand this right. So if you have 500 5-star reviews, Google's not going to pay attention to you because you don't have enough. If you're around a 3.5, Google's not going to pay attention to you because you're too low. And if you are not responding, if you have all 5-star and 5,000, but you're not responding to them, they also might not pay attention to you. So you need to have the quantity of the reviews. You need to have the quality of a 4.4 or higher.
Right.
And you have to respond to not only the negative, but also the positive. So
and respond quickly.
And quickly.
So they look at those 4 things. But I mean, obviously, there's different ways. If you're responding, if all you have is 2 and 3 star reviews, and you're responding quickly, and it's still, so it's a weighted system that they have. They have their algorithms that they don't reveal to anybody. But the number of reviews and the quality of reviews are the most important. And then you have how fast you're responding, and to how many you're responding. But you should be responding to every single review, good, bad, because when people look at they do their research, especially if they're buying a $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 car. What I want to know is when people have a bad experience, what is that dealership doing about it? Yeah. So there's a thing called the customer service paradox, which states that if you have 2 customers and one's loyal and has never had an issue, and then you have another customer that's also loyal and then had an issue, if you fix that issue quickly and to the customer satisfaction, that customer that had an issue will become more loyal than the customer that never had an issue, because now that you're battle tested, they say, you know what? They screwed up, they fixed it, and now I'm happier than the other guy because I had an issue and they took care of it the right way. Right.
When you talk about the 4.4, my wife, she won't go to a restaurant unless it's a 4.5 or above. So it makes it really hard to travel. It's really hard to travel, but you also talked about the number of reviews. And I mean, it's hard. I look at myself, I don't leave that many reviews. And so how can a dealership, I mean, if they're sitting at 500 but their customers are happy and they want to get to 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000, how do they get there? Like, how do you inspire people to leave reviews when they normally don't?
Well, I mean, our system is super easy.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we concentrated on. I don't want to have too many clicks. We even have it that we hired a scientist, what they call a data scientist, a mobile data scientist, that told us that our star ratings were too high on the screen. And when people are on their phone, their thumb, it would take longer to get to that 5-star. So we moved it down on the page, so we made it super simple for people to leave that review. So it's all these small little quirks that we're analyzing. How do I get that customer and make it super easy to leave a review? Because most people will leave a review if it's a bad experience, but don't think about, hey, I just had a great experience, I want to leave them a great review. You really have to ask for it. And a lot of dealerships, it's hard to ask for a review. It's uncomfortable. Hey, do me a favor, can you leave me a 5-star? A lot of dealerships, for the CSI survey that comes out, a lot of service advisors and salespeople, they'll tell the customer, hey, you're going to get a survey from the factory. If it's not a 10-star experience or a 5-star, whatever their rating system is, please don't fill it out. Which is, obviously not the, so what our system does when it comes to CSI and the factory survey, now the dealership's able to filter unhappy experiences, failed experiences, before that survey goes out, and allows them to fix that problem. Because the factory has a lot of bonuses. So, the manufacturers tie in a lot of bonuses to both sales and service CSI from their own factory survey. If you're able to filter out those unhappy experiences and fix them before that survey goes out, your bonuses are going to go up because they get so much tied to that. Inventory allocation, yearly and year-end bonuses, stuff like that, to those, surveys from the factory that you have no control over.
Presented from the Aishin Broadcast Studio at Babcock's Media.
So I imagine there has to be like a training aspect to, if you want to turn your dealership around or get better. Because if you've got people saying, if you had a bad experience, please don't fill out the survey. You could, in that same sentence, they could say, if you had a bad experience, let me know and I'll fix it, right?
Right.
There's got to be some type of a training, I guess, some type of training to stop that from happening.
Well, look, at the end of the day, a lot of customers will not tell you face to face, especially if you're the problem. So most of the issues with salespeople and service advisors are the service advisors and the salespeople, and they're not going to. Hey, nobody's going to tell a service advisor, you've been a really crappy service advisor, or to a salesperson, I don't trust you. It's really hard for people to have that confrontation, but they will tell friends and family, and they will put on a survey. So if you can now say, hey, you're going to be getting a text message once you leave the dealership, let my manager know how I did. And if I'm a customer and I know that manager is going to get it, and say, hey, I would have bought a car, but I didn't trust your sales manager, or your service advisor told me it was going to be $1,000. I picked up my car, and we see that all the time. Yeah, I was quoted $1,000 over the phone. I came picked up my car. It was $1,400. And I didn't want to argue with the cashier. I paid it, but I'm not coming back. Yeah. So now, as a manager, I can call up the customer and go, hey, I looked at it. You're right. We did charge you a couple of things that we shouldn't have. We didn't get authorization for. I'll go ahead and credit your credit card. Next time you come in, free oil change. Things like that, because the lifetime value of a customer, especially in the service department, could be as high as $10,000, right? Yeah. And then also car sales. You're talking about people who have generations of buying from the same dealership. You break that chain, and you've lost that future business. So it's really, really important to make sure your customers have an outlet to report negative experiences directly to a manager outside of Google and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. So it's really, really important. One of the things that we're now, the new frontier in marketing is what they call CGC, customer generated content. How do I get my customer to not only leave me a review, but really tell their story about their experience servicing a vehicle or buying a new vehicle to their circle of influence? So one of the things we just finished creating, we're beta testing now, is if you give me a 5-star rating, what I'm going to do is an hour later, I'm going to send that customer a text message saying, hey, thanks for leaving us a 5-star rating. We're thrilled you had a great experience. For $10 off your next oil change, can you record a 15 or 20 second video on your phone and send it to me? So and it opens up their camera, and they can they can take as many takes as they want. And then once that submits, it goes straight to the dealership where they can put on their website, their Instagram page or Facebook page. And now you have testimonials that you're constantly showing the world of your happy customers, because videos talk a lot more than so that's one of the things we're working. We're always thinking about, how do I get that happy customer experience amplified? How do I tell the world about all the happy customers that this dealership has?
You need to have a button on there that posts it right to their Instagram.
We're working on that. The problem is that Instagram does not let you do that. Facebook does. But we want to make it, and people are kind of moving, the younger generation's moving away from Facebook and more towards the Instagrams and the TikToks. But we are working on a button that after you upload your video, hey, post this to your story, or on Instagram, or post a TikTok video with this. So we're working on that next phase of it as well.
Yeah, because you can make it easy for them.
Right. The easier you make it, people will do it.
Before we move on, because I had a couple other questions I want to ask you. Before we move on, I'm just curious. Just to pick a round number, a dealership with 100 ROs a day, and you're going to text message all those people asking them, to leave a review and get feedback. What percentages are you seeing?
So typically, let's say 100 ROs a day, let's call it 25 working days in a month rather, you're getting 2,500 ROs a month. We're typically seeing a 30 to 40% engagement rate.
Oh, wow.
So, on a typical dealership, you'll have anywhere from, let's say, 30% and 750 of those will actually push a rating. And then out of those, if it's a 5-star, about 75% will actually leave your review. So we're actually seeing dealerships that are generating anywhere from 100 to 250 5-star Google reviews every single month.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we usually see the hockey stick. So as soon as you launch our program, you might be generating 20 or 30 reviews per month. And then as soon as you use our platform or replace the platform that you're using, there are a couple other ones, but what they do is they're sending everybody to Google, which is something you don't want to do. So I got a review platform. I go, okay. And they tell us the name, and I don't want to say other platforms out there, but most platforms are just sending them a link directly to your Google profile. And then they're leaving both the good, bad, and the ugly, which you don't want. Now, one of the things to stay compliant, because they have a thing called review gating. So Google says you cannot just send all your happy customers to us, to Google. What we do is on our platform, at the bottom of our page, even if they leave you a 1-star, and we open up that window that allows them to type out whatever their issue is, right below that, it says, or leave us a review. So we're still making it available for them to go to Google, but if I'm letting a customer have the ear of the manager, they'd much rather keep their complaint private and have have somebody take care of it rather than post it on Google. Because if you own a business and you've seen people hate Google, negative reviews, it's almost impossible to take it down. Even if the customers, you changed it, if you say, hey, can you remove that Google review? Oh, yeah. It almost never happens. Yeah. They have to go, it's work for them, right? So the best way to avoid a negative Google review is to never even have it posted to begin with.
Yeah.
Take care of that issue privately. But we're saying, pretty much every dealership we launch, minimum of 150 to 200, depending on volume, every month. One of the things that we recently introduced, because the blind spot at a dealership is, they usually have a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 close rate when somebody comes in to buy a car. They're doing test drive and all that. And that customer that does not buy a car, usually it doesn't make it into your DMS, dealer management system. They usually are just in your CRM. So one of the things we came out with is this really nifty card that we give all the salespeople, and it has a QR code and a chip on the back. So after the test drive, if the customer doesn't buy, goes, hey, do me a favor, scan that QR code, let my boss know how I did. And that opens up the 1 through 5. And each card is tied to that salesperson.
Oh, cool.
So now the dealership can go in the back end, the sales manager, and see who's getting their cards scanned. Hey, you're not scanning enough cards. But that right there is a blind spot that nobody's touching, where we're now generating 5-star reviews, because some people don't buy a car because it was out of their price range or whatever it is, but they still had a good experience. So we're using things like this to generate 5-star reviews, even from customers that did not buy a car.
Wow. Well, I do know, when I was learning how to be a salesman a long time ago, they said that you can even get referrals from the people who don't buy from you, right? Because maybe you can't get the one they want, or maybe they just decided that the other make fit their budget better. But
right.
They still might have liked you, and they still might give you referrals.
There you go. So
that's
really
taking it to the whole next level.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the
awesome.
things that we also have is that we're not just getting feedback and reviews. When we're pulling that information from the DMS, we're actually pulling the customer, the person that they interacted with, so the service advisor or the salesperson, and now we have a dashboard that shows you all your salespeople and all your service advisors and the ratings that the customers are leaving their experience. So now I can quickly, we call it the bad apple finder.
Yeah.
I can quickly find out, having a bunch of reviews and all that is just data. If I can see that, hey, I've got a bunch of service advisors that are always at 4.8, 4.9, 5.0. I got one guy that's consistently at 3.5. Hey, what's going on here, buddy? And it'll even show the feedbacks. and I can do a report that on my monthly meetings with that service advisor or that salesperson, go, hey man, you're not taking care of your customers, and here's what they're saying about their experience, specifically about that person. So now you can use it for retraining, or it's maybe time to move on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would let you know what they need training on. I mean,
That's right.
If all you know is that everybody else is selling 18 cars and this one guy is selling 9 or 6, you don't know where the problem is.
Right.
But if you can,
now you can see, hey,
if you got 9 reviews that say
pitchy.
that he smells bad, you can say, hey man,
right.
Try new deodorant.
Actually, it's funny that you say that, because we have a lot of fitness facilities on our platform.
Yeah.
And we had we have monthly and quarterly reviews with our clients to say, hey, how's everything going? And we had one studio that told us that there was a trainer that had bad BO, and the manager was didn't want to really confront that, because it's embarrassing to tell somebody, hey, you smell, but several of their clients did. So they were able to, hey, this is what clients are saying about you, we need to fix that problem. But it really finds, if somebody's too aggressive, people will tell you, hey, I was going to buy the car, but I didn't feel comfortable because the guy was a little too pushy.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference. I mean, if somebody you lose a sale for a $50,000 car because somebody's a little bit too aggressive, that's a problem.
I imagine you probably see, because this is something you see all the time. People are looking at their phones,
Right.
I bet you see reviews all the time. Like if somebody was trying to sell me a $50,000 car and he's reading text messages,
right,
that would bother me.
Right.
And you probably see that.
You do.
The younger generation, they don't ever look up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was was texting his friends, whatever it is, during when we were talking about the car deal. So also we see all sorts of stuff. So
Interesting.
I mean, we had one guy that said that that the salesperson called him. It was a used car. The salesperson called him on his personal cell. He goes, "Hey, I've got a car that's not at this dealership that I can sell you." So I mean, customers will tell you that.
Yeah.
So you never know. I mean, people will do all kinds of. I mean, everybody has everybody's information now, so it's very easy for a salesperson to do side deals without the dealership knowing, and it'll expose that.
Wow. That's probably not a trainable offense. That's hit
fireable.
The bricks.
Yeah.
That's a hit the bricks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you got sitting right there, your digital glove box. Can you tell me what that is and how it works?
Yeah. So this is something we just patented. We got we've been working on this for a while, but it's a digital glove box. It has an NFC chip and your logo built into it. It's also got a QR code for people to know how to use a digital NFC chip. But basically, this goes on the sun visor of the vehicle. And if you think about it, if in your own personal car, there's nothing in the car that brands the dealership. Yeah. Everything's OEM, right? So what this allows, every time somebody looks at that glove box or flips down that glove box, that dealership's logo is right there in their face. So now it's just a constant reminder of the dealership. When you put your phone up to the device, it pulls up a menu of anything you want to know about your car. Mm-hmm. From the owner's manual to a digital glove box where you can upload your insurance card, your AAA card, repair orders, anything you want to store in the cloud is right there. It's protected by two-factor authentication, where it sends you a text message to access this data. But we even have a recall checker. If the dealership wants to put cheap gas near me, they can put that on there. It's completely customizable by the dealership to put whatever it is they want.
Oh, cool.
Click here for service, roadside, what to do in case of an accident. We have one dealership that actually has their loyalty card on there, that they're sending their updates about their loyalty program. So it's a customizable, pretty much landing page that's everything about your car. So it's part of our program, and you can buy these without having the real-time feedback program, but it also has real-time feedback built into it. So if anytime you want to message your manager, the sales manager or service manager, you can through the platform.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Well, I love the AAA and I love the insurance card, because those are like two things that you never need them until you do. Right. You never need them until you do.
So my kids call me. We have, I think I mentioned before the show, I have 6 kids, mm-hmm. and they're always driving the family car or whatever it is. And if they get pulled over, they get in an accident, or they need to get a tow. Hey, where's the AAA card? Or hey, I just got pulled over. Where's the insurance? And I have these in all my cars. Hey, just tap that clip, click on the digital glove box. It sends me a text message. I give them the 4-digit code. They put it in and they show it, because most cops will take a digital insurance card now. Yeah. So all that's uploaded right there for anybody to access. So it's really, really cool. We're
That
getting
is cool.
getting a lot of buzz around these.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty neat, and that it's dealership branded
Right.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the things that we're now introducing is that if a dealership has a new model coming out or new interest rates or whatever it is, an oil change special, when they open up the clip and when they tap it, it'll have a little pop-up that shows, hey, we're having, $20 oil change, whatever it is, right there it pops up, and then, they can close it. But now you're advertising all sorts of stuff right through there. And it's, when you buy it, it lasts for the lifetime. It never goes away. It's always
cool.
there. So when it changes hands, one of the things that we find is a lot of dealerships lose track of the second owner, right? So they sell a car, customer sells the car, whether it's to CarMax or wherever it is, and somebody else buys that car. When they tap that clip, it's still dealer branded. Now they can't get into the digital glove box or whatever it is, but now it's branding that dealership directly to that second owner.
Well, Adam, is there anything more you'd like to share with our audience today?
Well, we're always thinking of new things. One of the things we just launched is one of the complaints dealerships were saying were their web chat platform. That little pop-up that opens up on whenever you go to somebody's dealership. How can we help you?
Oh yeah.
We just built one of those as part of our program. So if you're a customer, you can actually put your information if you want sales or service, and then put whatever your question is. And instead of sitting there on the website and waiting for somebody to respond, it actually takes that off the web experience, sends you a text message immediately saying, hey, thanks for submitting your request to XYZ dealership. We're going to continue this conversation over text. And that alerts a sales manager or service manager that can now respond to you and have a two-way conversation through text message rather than an online chat.
Oh, that's cool.
So we just launched that, and we're always inventing. So we got a couple of things up our sleeve that I can't talk about yet, but it's been a fun ride. I really, this is probably my favorite gig I've ever had.
Oh, that's awesome. I was going to say, yeah, as we've been having our conversation, I was thinking, boy, I'll bet he's singing about that next and that next, but I didn't want to ask you because we didn't talk about it in advance, but I really appreciate you coming in today.
Yeah, I really appreciate it as well. Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time to join us for this AutoSuccess Executive Spotlight. I'm your host, Brian Ankney. Today, my guest has been Adam Alfia from Real Time Feedback. We hope to see you again on a future episode. This one's Over the Curb and Burning Gas.